Hey there everybody, Mazarok here, and today I want to go through Lower Karazhan. It was a 20 run that we had timed it with like under a minute left. I did it as a prot warrior, and there was a lot of things I want to highlight with this. A lot of good, some bad, some things that were kind of occurring, and I just want to go over the process of, what was going in my mind when I was doing certain pulls, because Lower is a very fluid dungeon. It's not what would you call it? It's not linear, sorry. So as we're going through it, I just want to kind of go through, talk about that, and all that fun stuff. Also, please like, comment, subscribe. Now, we did skip the Forlorn Spirit. I hate that thing as a tank. Unless I can heal myself with a blood DK, I don't want to pull it. I'll commit pots to it. I don't care. It's a waste of time. It trucks the tank. Skip it. I've been going to the left here as well lately. A lot more, and I've been enjoying it a lot. Now, when this group here, we had plugged into the Rogues 20 Kara, and the rest of us were all in comms. So, comms was definitely a big help for this. One of the things that I have done this season as well is I've swapped away from the Rallying Cry conduit, and I've gone into the Shockwave conduit, because I don't take the Shockwave talent, but man, having a 30-second Shockwave is so good. Especially this season, and I can pretty much always get, at the start of the pull from these philanthropists, I can pretty much always get the first, or at least the second, pennies from heaven, or whatever, have you not, penises, as some people like to call them. So that's been really, really nice, and has been a very, very good mixture for me, because a lot of people that I run with have a lot of single target stuns on like a 1 minute cooldown, right? So it's been nice to be able to pretty much always have that AoE stop kind of available and good to go. And it's been really, really nice. And I feel like in this dungeon in particular, Shockwave really does shine out here in Grimrail Depot. So after we go to the left, go down, we start pulling this, and we just go through and, all of that fun stuff, all that fun jazz. I don't remember if we wiped on the first boss. I think we just crushed it. This is actually my first time ever seeing this first boss as well, so that's a thing. But yeah, so as you see, Shockwave comes off cooldown, and I pretty much always have it. I should have pressed it here. I didn't notice at the time. We were just kind of dealing with it, but I had the stop for it, so it's kind of funny. But it is what it is. I really love this charge... this leap then charge into battle tactic that I've been doing, and I've mastered it in a couple of dungeons, and it's been really, really fun. But here in comms, like, we definitely are rotating our kicks properly, and our CCs, not our kicks in this particular instance, but we're all kind of focusing on something, and this is not a dungeon that's necessarily easy to do in pugs and at a higher level. Here, this we tried, and unfortunately, the rogue did survive. I think he practiced cheat death. What we were trying to do is to not touch the philanthropist, because the philanthropist puts a debuff on things around it, like when it dies. And we want to bring this into the boss. Now, we did eventually do it. So here we go. We had Ring from the Monk. We just let the pennies go off. And I'm trying to pull through. Unfortunately, we didn't have anybody start the role play. But we're just going to let the philanthropist live. On his own, the philanthropist isn't that bad. It's really that pennies cast that just is unpleasant. It's just really unpleasant. The rogue was going ham on it. I asked him not to kill it. Keep alive. He didn't know, and it is fairly uncommon, so it's very, very nice to see. I'm just autoing it for rage for free for shield blocks. But yeah, we definitely have the... Okay, so here I'm just gonna back up. We've got the philanthropist down a little bit for an easy kill. We're trying... Unfortunately, my deep wounds are on it, so I'm just kiting it around. And then we're gonna have the boss pop up here. We're gonna burn Lust right at the top. Yeah, again, get that Ring of Peace going. Keep it down. But with the buff, you're gonna see just everything kind of explode. Boom, we're gonna pull and Lust off the bat and then just go to town. I forgot to get threat on Galandre. I didn't actually see her pop up, because the weird thing with this boss is Elfira actually ends up coming out first, so you can attack them. Now, they do share health, so this is a very, very good cleave fight. And you can see, like, our rep pally, 54k, me, 36. Like, we're just really going to town here and having a good one. And the winged assistants come out. I did not notice the other two. This is definitely not my best tank fight, but it still is very possible if you can do it right. But now that I know, I would probably save, like, a challenging shout for that. Also, I didn't actually know the jump mechanic of get into one of the purple swirlies. So I was like, oh, whatever, I'll just shield wall this. And I lived, but this is my first time doing it. So if it's your first time doing it, don't feel too terrible as well. That can happen. But we're doing really, really well. Everything's coming up. The ads are dying fairly quickly. It's unfortunate that the ads are kind of so far away into Narnia. Like, they spawn all over the place. So getting threat on them is not always the easiest thing in the world. As a warrior, that was a little bit of a struggle for me. But the amount of things that, like, you saw Spell Reflect just come up, right? Which is really, really nice. There's so many things to Spell Reflect. And then, boom, we did it. And I got my achievement, the season tickets, and I'm all happy. But then we're going to skip. This went fairly, you do the whole skip pull, die, done. We're going to sit, we're going to eat for a bit. Which is pretty fair. I'm going to move up just a little bit. So here, I like doing this little double pull with the phantoms and the guests and all that. I haven't mastered the get back enough in charge, and our monk healer went right into combat. He didn't know what I was pulling them back, and he immediately got threat on a couple just by having a soothing mist or something up and died. But we're really not in any danger. We've got all of the stops that we need to kind of make this kind of smooth, and as you see, like, this entire pull, my health is just not even dropping, close to dropping at all. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to wait for the healer. No, I'm not. Yeah, oh yeah. I pulled the attendance. I did not mean to pull the attendance. This is kind of me like, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. But immediately we started a kick rotation. We couldn't get the hunter in. Not the hunter, the rogue, sorry. Into the kick rotation. But we did a really good job with these attendants. I let banner drop, and that was a big mistake. I kind of panicked with this attendance where I should have just leaned into the pull. Went too far back, and I let banner drop. What I would do differently here is instead of I tried to pull small and towards where the monk came. Like, that was the idea behind this pull. Where what I should have done is just kind of keep with my normal thing, because there's an easier pack, just like the ones that we did without the healer there, where I could have just kept banner rolling and things like that. But, you live, you learn, you play, and you start figuring things out as you go along. But we're really happy with the way some of these pulls went. We did have a couple of wipes, not on... I don't think we had a wipe on trash. So here I want to pull small. I'm trying to buy a little bit of time for banner. I get AP back on the monk. I want to get him. So the goal here was to not get that attendance, because there's an inspired one in there. And that's really the last thing that I wanted, right? So get the attendance. I like going to the right here, because you can get the little stun trap, which I unfortunately always forget to use. It's this thing where I like to route around having it, but I totally never use it, which is something I need to absolutely do in higher keys. Like, I absolutely need to do that in higher keys. But as you can see by the Spell Reflect bar that comes up on top, there's a lot of things to Spell Reflect here. Like, it's really, really good, right? There's just so much good stuff that keeps coming. My damage is good. I'm having good upkeep on banner. We're getting in the pats, although I don't see the servant there. I think I called for an MD, but it took him a second. He's like, oh crap, it's down. So there we go. But no harm, no foul. Everyone's living. Everyone's surviving. Everyone's jamming. Just that. Look at that sleep puddle just lurking towards us. Like, it's just, yep, I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm going to lose banner here. I think I was very unhappy with losing banner here. Yeah. I should have done a better job on banner, but oh well. It is what it is. So I'm going to kind of pull it a little bit slow. Because I wanted to pull a little bit big, so I wanted to have more of a banner. So I know this pack is an easy pack to get, and you can get it without the attendants. The attendants are something where if you're in a group, like if I'm in a full group and we can rotate kicks properly and things like that, they're not super terrible if you have a healer that you can trust. Like, it's something I would avoid, but it's not also like a fully banned pack if you know what you're doing. Like, if you have a group that knows what they're doing, they're not super banned. And I really like clearing that out, because most of these Phantom Guests and all that stuff, they're really not that big of a problem. And then I'm going to have banner up, and I'm going to want to buy some time for us, because like I said, none of this trash is even trucking me. You see my health, it's not doing anything at all. So we're going to grab banner, boom, done, and then we're going to go into combat again, and I'm just... My health gets brought down to 95, 90, and it just keeps jumping back up between the hots on from the Mistweaver. I think it's Soothing Mist or Enveloping Mist or whatever have you not that he's got rolling, and me with the Indom and Ignore Pain and things like that. It's just really... And this is a fortified week too, where like really not that big of a deal. Like, you know, life's pretty good. Prot Warrior's been very strong. Here I double all of this, and I unfortunately, and then someone accidentally pulled the rest, killed our healer. I did not want to get this back part. I was trying to get these two, and unfortunately it kind of happened. One of the things that I've been struggling with a little bit sometimes, where like when I'm playing and I'm not super noticing, is I think I live here. Like, I think I live here. I kite a little bit. Yeah, no, you see my health. It's kind of stable. Once I have all my buttons going and stuff, and then I get a kill. Boom, get Victorious Rush, and then things are good, and then you kind of keep rolling. But, yeah, so Prot Warrior is completely able to survive some of these bigger pulls and really not get worry about it that much. Our bomb placements here were a little weird, but, I mean, they're going to be. Now, the issue is this stupid skeletal waiter. I hate this thing to death, man. This thing is just annoying. They truck. Like, they legit truck. It's not this Arcane Warden, man. This little skeletal waiter. I don't like this guy at all. But we do pretty good, you know. We're just kind of vibing. We're having a good time. We're having laughs, which is very, very important. You got to be able to, you know, have those laughs and all that fun stuff, right? This boss, little forewarning. It doesn't go very well. Not the first time. So what I do here is I told some of them to get some traps, but no one really did. I had banner going, so I didn't really care if it dropped. I had another one up, sorry. So I went and got one. Now this is one that what I need to do is I need to work in this trap stun into my like regular rotation in lower. And I don't think about it that often. It's a 1 minute single target stun. It can really help you early on in lower Kara, which is why I like going right and grabbing those packs. Unfortunately for us, so we're going to pull this. There's a skeletal waiter roaming around somewhere that we just straight up missed. Like, we just straight up missed, and that is what's going to end up trucking me, is that one stupid waiter. But here we discussed on which ones we're going to get, and I didn't really have, like, a care. I was like, alright, cool. As long as we get the kicks coming and things like that. Actually, no, is it the waiter? I think it's the waiter. But we're rolling our kicks well, you know, we're doing all the things that we got to be doing. I'm rolling my defensive as well, Ignore Pain's going. Really, we're kicking all of the right things. But as this pack dies, and this is something I've seen a lot happen in Lower Kara on this boss, is our Ret Paladin decided he was going to help me pull. But he never communicated that he was going to help me pull. So I'm just gonna go for the easy one. I go for Baroness. There was a judgment that went on, and he went and gotten Lady, and this is gonna go to shit really quick. No one had a drain, no one was ready, and things are just straight up dying. We thought it was a waiter that was trucking me on that one. But yeah, so this is gonna be a full wipe. I do a pretty good job at living, but after a certain point, we're like, okay, yeah, no, it's dead. Like, you know what I mean? My health is just slowly coming down. Slowly coming down. Me and the rogue die. But yeah, there we go. It's just kind of what it is. It might have also been my charge, but I think the Ret Paladin also said that he hit Judgment with one. I immediately never charge into that boss because charge has a slight AoE that deals like 1 damage or something. Like, it's just enough to break things out of traps. So always use Heroic Leap and never charge. I was trying to be smart and charge kicking, which is just dumb. That's just dumb. Like, looking at that now, and that's 100% me, my fault. I should not have done that. Even if he did throw that judgment like he claims he did, we should not at all have done it that way. Oh, the Skeletal Waiter was a different lower. I think it was a 15. Oh, yeah, it was a 15 Vengeance. Oh, my Vengeance that I did last night. Yeah. Okay, so here we're going to pull. I'm pulling with Heroic Throw at a distance. I don't get my charge off, so I'm not too happy about that, but I do have Banner and Rage Gen going. I haven't picked a particular order in which I like doing these things in yet. I'm doing kind of what's available based on the... Because Heroic Throw has a limited range. Like, if you're on that right side, I wouldn't be able to get Lady Katrina. But due to the stairs, I can go and aim towards there. So I'm kind of just going one by one based on what I can pull. But yeah, one thing I've seen a lot, and what's killed a lot of runs as well, is people thinking they're going to be smart and pulling for tanks, and not telling people that they're going to pull for tanks. I don't care. Like, personally, I'm okay with a range being like, okay, we're going to get this one next. I hit it. I kicked it. Let's go. All I need to do is get threat on it. That's fine, but that needs to be communicated. And if that's never communicated, I, as a tank, am immediately thinking, okay, crap. Okay, crap. Because I'm probably using some sort of ranged ability, right? I don't necessarily need to, I don't necessarily need the help, but the help is sometimes warranted. But if you are one to pull for tanks, please just communicate that you're going to pull and say, I'm going to pull, like, especially if you're a pug DPS on this one, just say, hey, I'll pull the bosses for you, okay? Like, I'll pull them one by one, don't worry about it, just get threat on them. I'm okay with that, and I can play around with it, and I'm fine playing around with it. It's like it's helpful. But if I don't know that's going to happen, it quickly becomes unhelpful. Communication is key on this one, and looking back on it, I think I would have broken either one of them now out with my charge, that I didn't quite think about that at the time. So even if he did or did not throw that judgment to kind of help me out, but that was something that I'd thought of in the time, so it's something that I wanted to bring up. And I've seen many pugs do this. Warlocks have absolutely tried to, pull for me and things like that, but they never communicated it. Just communicate it, Be if your tank absolutely doesn't want you to, they'll let you know. But I've seen, especially, like, I did this on a Vengeance Demon Hunter last night, and, like, I was like, someone has to pull for me. I have no single target at all, aside from, like, Fracture, but I'm running Immolation Aura, so my fire's gonna break them out. This is terrible. Like, I need somebody to do this for me because I can't. Like, Bear, you could Moonfire one particular target that you want and get your threat and break out the traps that way. Blood DK can grip. Warrior can Heroic Throw. Monk, you would be able to do something. I actually haven't done this on Monk, so I don't know how exactly. Probably Blackout Kick, maybe? Crackling Jade Lightning. That's the ability. So here, we just pulled as per normal. These chargers on Fortify, by the way, these things hurt. They truck. Watch the purple line on the floor, because they can be really, really nasty if you're not paying attention. We had auto markers going on for that, and like in comms we were calling out certain kicks to try to not overlap. Like, okay, I've got square. Like, I think me and the other two DPS all had a specific one, and we were kind of waiting to see if we'd overlap with the rogue, who did a lot of kicking as well, by the way. There's nothing to say that, he wasn't, he was doing a really, really good job at using his utility. The problem was he wasn't in comms with us, so we were trying to set up a rotation that at the same time wasn't overlapping with what he was doing, and I think we did a very, very good job of it. Like, honestly, like, I have no regrets about how I pulled this. I did go a little back and forth, and a lot of that was actually because of banner and inspired placing. So, like, if I knew there was, like, a bigger pull up ahead or had the chance to get bigger due to, an ability going awry or something like that, something like me. I know we don't have a priest, but a divine star could have gone in a weird spot or whatever have you not. I was like, I'm not doing this pull without banner. Like, that was quite literally my mentality. Like, it dropped here, and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that inspired pull without banner. Like, not happening. Another thing that I've been doing in Lower Kara that I've kind of learned through trial of process is whenever there's an opening to the boss room, I pull the mobs out of it because they tend to charge at things, and I try and aim towards the hay bales and stuff over here, which is one thing that I've learned since doing this key and have practiced a lot more. This was kind of a late night key, I think. I think we were like reaching 10, 11 o'clock at night, which, I mean, I know, I have kids. Give me a break, I have kids. I can't hold degen hours. Not like I used to. I got kids in school as well, mind you, so I have to be up at the bus stop at 7 a.m. But wherever I'm doing those chargers, I'm trying to go into a room where I can much more easily tank them, and they won't charge into the boss, because resetting Midnight is an actual just nightmare. So the reason why I pulled the way that I did here is this mob's inspired, and I really wanted to limit the amount of pulls that we had inspired chargers on, or quite a number of chargers on. So you'll see that I opted for more single target friendliness, if you so would. Just kind of, you're pulling around the affix, right? Where usually I wouldn't have a problem in a group because we could all kick CC and work that rotation around really, really well. And I have pulled this entire room at once before, and it has gone fine. That one inspired mob can make that pull very, very dangerous. So that was my thinking on that one. I almost went the wrong way. So here, yeah, there's a little 2-pack, and I wanted to do, like, usually I pull all 4 of these, and that is a dangerous pack on its own. So I try to not do that. We do end up frost trapping the inspired one, so we're able to do a little 3-pack here and have an easier time of it. Also, shield block does some work against these charges, by the way. Holy jeez. So I'm trying to bring them in, and as you see, I'm trying to get them away from any opening in the boss room, just because you're trying to kite around so many charges that if you sidestep the wrong way and another charge goes out and ends up in the boss, like I said, the last thing you want is to start the boss fight and get all of those other chargers and I know there's still a couple of big pulls here. Here we're gonna single down this inspired. And right when I pull him, just an immediate charge right down the center, and I was about to hit charge, like I was like, I'm gonna charge in, like, oh no, sidestep. But yeah, the inspired chargers are one thing that don't take them lightly in higher keys, especially higher fortified keys. These things can really, really hurt. You see, like, what one charge just went through me and brought me down quite a bit. And if you've been looking at this dungeon at all, or my HP bar down here in the left, it doesn't go down very much. Like, honestly, Prot Warriors are crazy sturdy right now, and has been pretty good. So I'm going to pop Banner, get my threat, and I think they called for a double here, if I'm not mistaken. They might have called for a double. Maybe not. Yeah, I think these guys all got CC'd to death, and I'm trying to pull them out of the room. I don't want them in. But that kind of is what it is. Like I said, this run went fairly smooth. The time is very lenient on wipes here. As long as you guys know what you're doing and you can fix the mistakes. One of the problems I've seen is a lot of people don't fix their mistakes. Like they'll wipe on something, and then they'll just do the exact same thing, and you're like, well, okay, guys, like, we got to learn from our mistakes here. And this is where that charger pack and stuff, like I said, there was pretty CC'd, and I called for them to be brought into another room. I asked for a misdirect. The charge went through. Unfortunately, I was telling them, get them out of there, but they The rogue kept staying in and CCing, so they kept staying in even though they weren't coming in. It was just one of those things where in full comms, like literally I think I'm going to say, stay back in this room here that we're in now. Just stay back here, okay? Just stay. I'll pull them back in. You'll get to do your DPS. Life's good. I'm just going to, like, heroic throw them or something stupid. So there was a charge. There was a Kyrian Swarm. It kind of went to shit. And this is my fault. This is definitely my fault as a tank where I should have clarified in party chat. Like, no, I want to pull these guys out and away. Stay here. Let me pull them in. Get into this room of safety where I can go near the hay bales on the side here. And we can just have a much easier time at all of this. This was like our monk healer's like first time in a lower Kara that was like above a 10. He's had a bad time with lower Karas that I actually got timed. So midnight, Adaman, things go fairly well on this one, I think. Actually, I did totally troll my hunter friend on this one. One of the things that we wanted to practice is actually shared suffering. And because as long as someone is in the shared suffering, it won't get recast. So as a warrior, you can heroic leap out of it, and as long as as long as one person gets hit by it, it's fine. But the thing that we're trying to do is having the one person get hit by it be an immunity. Let's take a look at this. So I think the monk is... Oh, the monk is direct... Oh, no. Yeah. Shared suffering. Boom. Done. This is our monk learning how absolutely dreadfully tough that shared suffering is. And my HP bar barely even went. Warriors have a lot of things to deal with shared sufferings that are can accumulate. You know, shield wall, spell reflect, demo shout. You can pretty much get spell reflect, avatar, demo shout, or shield wall, all three of those together, like every shared suffering, and your HP is not, you are not going to die from that. Like, you are absolutely going to be fine. But the charges are definitely something like, this is such a frontal orientation. The Mortal Strike thing goes off. But what we wanted to do is have someone with immunity go into the shared suffering. And I was almost in that charge. Like you saw, it's really not that bad. As long as you know the mechanic. But I heroically leaped way too soon, and he recasted it, and the hunter didn't turtle fast enough and just got wonked. This is one where I also like to play like top down as much as I can. Because it's a small room, the camera angles can be janky, and it's so much easier to see all the stuff if you're looking top down. I could be wrong. If you guys have any tips for camera work on this one, I would absolutely love to hear it. But yeah, so I think I could have absolutely soloed quite a few of these shared sufferings. Yeah, I heroic leaped way too soon, and he's going to come in and just crank the hunter. We all had a good laugh at that. Luckily, it was towards the end. We didn't need to use another battle res on him to just bring down Midnight. But yeah, that was pretty funny. The way you want to do that is once you see right when you see that purple circle happen, you want to intervene or heroic leap out. And as long as somebody with an immunity is in there, they'll be able to live. So, turtle, bubble, ice block, whatever, and it'll have technically hit someone. So you don't have to worry about it. So if you don't have defensives as a tank to deal with it, you're going to die. That's actually not a bad strategy, is to call for one of your immunities to go in and just eat it while you run away. You do need to use some sort of speed ability. So intervene, heroic leap, Death's Advance, you can just get out of it as a Death Knight. Roll makes it a little bit easier for Monk. All of that fun stuff. Here, our timer, we're starting to feel it tighten. We have 30% trash to do, just under, and Maiden left with one boss left. But things go very smooth from here. It's all fairly easy trash. Just some things that you gotta look and kick and work and stuff like that. But yeah, no, it's kind of... The way I like to kind of route this dungeon as well is I want to have Lust preferably on, like, Maiden and first boss are pretty much necessary for me. And then depending on how the group's feeling, I'd like to have it on Morose or Adamant, depending on how the group wants to deal with that particular instance. So this one here, we opted for having... I don't even think we opted. I don't think we discussed less. Usually I like to discuss less. I don't know. I'm going to say we didn't even discuss less at all here. But, like, so after you, like, defeat the first boss and come down, if you want lust for Morose, go down to Adamant and then come back to Morose. But if you want lust for Adamant, go do Morose and then go down to Adamant. And then you should, with the route that I do here, it's pretty flexible on the lust timer, where you can set it to have lust for 3 bosses, just depending on which way you go first. But something to think about. That's something that I've been working as well, and I've been a little bit more fluid. Like, I can't say this is the one linear path to do, because it you know, if you wipe on a boss and you know your lust is going to come back, and you might want to do a different boss or whatever, have you not? We've kind of worked it around, and it's been pretty good. I have to say, I'm not unhappy with how Lower has been treating me lately. And it's been super fun on a Prot Warrior. Tons of stuff to spell reflect. Things go pretty good. Here is just an endless amount of killing. We're rotating around, trying to get the kisses of death. I kind of missed a couple of things and stuff like that. But here we're gonna move up to... By the time we get to Maiden... By the time we get to Maiden, we have 85% trash. But we have 7 minutes, but Lust is off cooldown, so I want to use that fast. We're right here, so then I'll go pull things later. But Maiden goes very, very well. We had very good damage. You can see the Rogue just pumping crazy fast. Unfortunately, we didn't get a kickoff on Holy Shock. We didn't get one of the kicks off on Holy Shock. And our monk just got destroyed. But super funny. Our hunter gets him back up. Boom, done. All right. Like, we made a mistake. We were kind of getting a little silly at this part of the night too. Like, we were making some silly mistakes. I think the banter took a little bit more hold over the dungeon than the dungeon. And here we missed a kick as well, and that probably would have been me. But we should have had some sort of kick rotation going on. But yeah, here's what it is. We got Mass Repentance, so I go in and get the dot. I do have Berserker Rage available, but I had full banner going, so I really wasn't too worried about myself. Depending on how I feel on the pull, sometimes I'll use Berserker Rage just to remove, like, not get the in cap at all, and a lot of that has to do with banner. If I feel I'm going to lose banner by going into Sacred Ground, or if the healer's struggling a little bit right off the rip, I'll definitely wait. Sometimes I wait, sometimes I use it. It's kind of one of those, how do I feel in the moment? How tanky am I feeling? You know, on a Tyrannical, sometimes I'll save it for the second one, because that's usually when things are falling apart, and I don't have to worry about, like, at that point, the healer wouldn't have to worry about healing me, because I don't have that big old dot, right? So Mass Repentance is going. I had fat-fingered Berserker Rage. So unfortunate. I had fat-fingered Berserker Rage, because I did want to use it for this shield, but that's pretty much going to be the dungeon. We have 14% to keep up with, so I'm just going to pull a bunch of stuff. Really, that's it. Like, we're going to finish off the pulls there, kick some stuff. But I really do like how this went, and as a Prot Warrior, this dungeon does feel incredibly good. I have to admit, it feels super good. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of AoE. Your HP bar doesn't move around a lot of things to spell reflect. It's getting past the boss mechanics, and a lot of those are alleviated by comms, so I'm really, really happy, and I'm excited to get back into another dungeon with at least the 4 of them, and then we'll add a 5th and see how well we can do, because I honestly think we can do this a lot better than just a 20. It's just a matter of having to get into it and do it. But that's it. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I hope you guys really enjoyed this through a Prot Warrior's perspective, and kind of going through the dungeon bit by bit and all that fun stuff. I don't want to do this as a So You Want to Tank, but more of a commentary. So yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for listening, guys. Have yourselves a good one, and happy tanking.